successful, right? Okay. Learn how to. I'm fired up now. Learn how to work together and use each other's strengths, assets to grow. Right. Your business, right? Just having some fun, okay? Some of y'all, all right, just bear with me. All right. So how many of y'all would agree we need to do that in our lives more? Not that part, right? That's good too. But have a smile, have fun. Have a smile, have fun. Right or wrong? Come on, help me out. It adds to everything. It changes your life, okay? When you smile, when you're happy, it adds to your life and it changes your life, okay? So I want, if you would, Troilus, if you can stand up if you don't mind, because I know you were the one that spearheaded this in your organization. I know we have other partners doing some good things, guys, right? And partnership, it could be different roles. I know Tammy plays a different role for Shade. Sakura somewhat plays the same kind of role, right? And it's important you know that you're just involved, okay? And you let your other agent partner know how great they are, and you're excited for them, and y'all are. I think the most important thing is having goals together. Right. How about y'all? Okay. Because I think if you're not doing that, it kind of just, it's not the same. It's kind of like you're doing it for whatever, and it's just kind of, how many of y'all with me so far, right? Yeah. So it's important to dream, it's important to set goals, it's important to do that together. Because to me, I love this business. I love when me and Jennifer kind of have these talks, because she said you chose this business, right? But we were at the same meeting together. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. And she pins me on my side. She goes, "You in, huh?" And I said, "Yep." And she said, "Me too." And when she said "me too," and I want everybody to hear this because it's important. And roles change as you go through. But I think the most important thing for us men, I'm just speaking for us, we just want to know that guess what? We're studs. Right. Yeah. I mean, y'all ladies already know that, right? Okay. But it's very important, guys, and I think the biggest thing is, like Troilus did, she got together with those partners, because if you don't watch it, they don't grow. I mean, and the same thing for the agent partner. We've got to grow, and that's what this thing is all about. And Troilus, if you would, what was that all about? I know y'all had a picture. I put it on Facebook. I put it. By the way, that's something y'all need to plug into. I know y'all are doing it with the individual teams. We've got to feed that, because I know we got some new licensed agents. Go ahead, Troilus.
I just wanted all our partners to get together. I had been out for a while, and I kept saying I was going to do it. So eventually, I just pulled the trigger, because I had a lot of partners, you know, asking Brian questions that I should be here for them to ask me, and just keep him on the phones and doing his own thing. And I had Patricia, I think, she asked me what was a FSS, you know, Fast Start School.
Yeah, what's all the
acronyms? Yeah, acronyms and stuff. And I said, oh, I have that for you. So I didn't have it that night, but I said, I promise, Saturday, if you're there, I'll be there and I'll bring it to you. And also,
so you ran copies of all the acronyms.
The glossary, I brought that. And then I also explained it to her. And also, there's different levels. They don't know the different levels, you know. So there's
like the element OP and all that stuff.
Yeah, and there's a guideline sheet, promotion sheet, you know, from reps to district manager, division. It tells them what they have to do and stuff like that. So we just want to kind of have fun, get our names out, see the faces, put the faces with the names, and just have fun and learn, you know, what partners do. And then next week, what we're going to do is we're going to get on the computers, we're going to show them POL, and also we're going to have a group meet just for partners. So I think, so we can be plugged in also. We don't feel like, you know, the 2 weeks that I'm off, I feel like when I come back in, oh, who is this new face, or who is this? So that keeps me plugged in also, you know, so definitely. And they've been running the ball. I mean, Patricia called me that night because we picked the book out, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And she texted me and she said, I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, laugh out loud, you know. So it's just wonderful to see your babies, you know, just take it, you know, you're coach, you're the coach, and when the baby runs the play, you know, you're like, oh, she hit the little ball. So I love my partners. Partnership rocks. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Whatever they need, I'm here.
And one thing to remember, it's not too old, maybe in real life it's too old to have babies, but in Primerica it's never too old to have babies, and then have grandbabies and great-grandbabies, okay?
And I just want to say this, I learned all this from the best, Jen Fields. Yes, I learned everything from Jen. And when the hurricane happened, Jen lost everything. But by me being up her tail so much, you know, people say, how you up Jen's ass? Well, guess what? You might want to be up her ass too, because They were some RVPs and they're gone. So Jen called me and she said, Troy, so you have some of the papers? And I said, yeah, I have all of them. I send them. Yeah. And so she wasn't without the partner stuff, you know.
That's good. That's good. Now we can't put this on YouTube and stuff. All right, good.
Oh, what did I say?
Because everything was good until the last part, right? Okay.
D'Artagnan's good enough to bleep it out.
But would you agree that's very good stuff, okay? And I think the biggest thing to get out of that is everything is uncomfortable.
Right.
And the cool part, though, is the rewards of giving birth.
Yes.
That's uncomfortable, ladies, right? Okay, I don't know, but guess what? I've seen it, all right? And it looks uncomfortable, okay? But here's all I know. Here's all I know. Giving birth is a blessing, right? And then raising those kids and what they become and all that stuff. And you look at, they've got 2 partners here. Okay, one of them just got licensed, and the other one's going to get licensed. Is that right? Okay. Yep. So that's a big deal. And the more you show up, the more you win. Yeah, because this can be on tape. Yeah. All right. So here we go, guys. Getting started. All right. Partnership is everything. That's one of the 3 things. Is that there's a crusade here, right? So you win with crusaders. Yeah. You win with dreamers. I'm starting to meet off very basic. And you kick people's butt with the glue is called partnership. Yeah. Partnership is everything. Right or wrong?
Right.
Okay, right or right?
Right.
I'm going to start saying that now like Carlos Gonzalez, right or right? Okay? All right, so I want to start off with basically what we talked about on our conference call last night, and it kind of led from we went to eat after training class on Saturday with the team, and we went to the egg roll house. I think they couldn't have had there was no more seats in there. There's not many to begin with, okay? The egg roll house next to Loggers. Cheap stuff, good food though, a lot of food. I like that place, all right? So we went there, but I gotta get you to write this down. Chris, can you do me a favor? I got some sheets of paper on my desk that says thing that I've ran these copies off of. I need that if you don't mind. Bluey. All right? I want y'all to get these copies here if you don't mind, okay? If you can pass these out on this side. All right, you can tell how let me see. No, it's my own. Okay. The blue. I think it's blue. Okay. All right, thank you, Chris. All right. So if you look at this, it says April. Okay, and if you look in the back there, if you're taking video on the back there, without goals, without bowling pins, how can you score? Right? Without a scoreboard, how can you keep score? How many of y'all would agree, right? How many of y'all ever remember the old days when you went bowling? Maybe it's only me because I'm over 44, right? Did you used to have to keep your own what? Score. And I used to love going to like Don Carter's because they had it for you. Like, boy, there's my name. Look at that. Got the score. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's right. Because nobody ever knew how to keep score. We just make up stuff. So yes, I think I bowled a 300. You know what I mean? But it's important, guys, because competition is awesome. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to here. And I talked to my team last night about a lot of things, but one of the things that I see starting to happen with the team, number one, as you add more directs, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, as you add more directs and start building relationships with new people and your old existing team. Right. You've got to continue to fertilize that thing. You've got to continue to put water on it, sunlight, love on them, show them what the possibilities are. All right? The biggest thing I want to start with today is vision. Okay, there's 2 types of leaders, and I'm going to get to that page in a second, but there's 2 types of leaders, in my personal opinion, that's going to make a ton of money in our company. There's the Chris Royce type leader. Okay, and I'm just using his name. Now, he's ended up passing me up in income, all these kind of things, but for years, for 12, 15 years, that dude was just a good personal producer. He got great at his skill sets. He lived on POL, right? He watches all the videos. Now he's making videos. Y'all need to write this stuff down. Right. He's gotten great at his skills, his product knowledge, okay? Because why? He had to. Chris didn't have the best people skills. He was a very technical person, still is, right? Even the book he wrote, guess what? His kids are like Harry Potter games and stuff like that. So it relates to that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? There's nothing wrong with it, but he found a way to be a technical person and build a great business.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to show you is their number 1 person in our company is going to be a good sales guy. Man, you got to make money. So you got to figure out how to make money in Primerica, right? So that's the #1 person. So now think about what I'm saying. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. What if you can make 6 figures and have no people problems? What if you make $250,000 and have no people? What if you can make $300,000, $400,000 like some of the skilled people in our company became pros and their residual income is over $100,000 without them working? How many of y'all want that game plan?
Yeah.
So we've got to make a big deal about people getting great at their skills, guys. How many of y'all would agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right? So there's 2 types of Primerica. All right? You need to write these things down. This is more relevant and prevalent than it ever has been. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. On the call with Bill Whittle, which we'll talk about as well, he's been telling me this. He says, Troy, this is what's going on. In the next 5 years, 10 max, everybody's going to do business through our outlets. It just makes logical sense. Maybe not right now, but I promise you, 20 years I was talking like this, we'd have thought that never could happen. But now, financially, think about what I'm saying. Financially, the Merrill Lynch's, the Prudentials, and all these guys, the Allstates, how in the world can they keep paying for legal staff, for all the product design, for all the marketing, for all the licensing, for all the people that quit in our business? Think about how many quit in their business. And they got to pay their what? Salaries. They don't pay salaries here. We have a unique, superior marketing organization. It's unique. There's nothing like it. Everybody tries to model us. They can't do it because all they think about is the money. Think about what I'm saying, guys. So I'm trying to give you value here. So what I'm saying is, in the next 5 years, let's just say it takes 5 years, we've got the marketing on, we've got the Walmart of financial services. So these financial services companies are smart. They want to make profits. So what's the way to make profits? They cut people. Right. Don't corporations do that?
Yeah.
They cut what? Their expenses, right? And they say, okay, we've got a product that we can design for who? Primerica, the marketing arm that deals with 95, look, I get chills, it deals with 95% of America. But it's only to come to those who see it. That's what I'm talking about, vision. You got to have vision. You got to visualize this, and this is real stuff. This don't take vision. This is just this is happening. If you start studying it, this is happening. Okay? So there's 2 types of leaders. #1, somebody's great at skills that can go sell those products. They become geniuses. They become the go-to people for the wholesalers of those companies. Because they know that if you're good at your skills, they're going to come talk to you about their products, because guess what? You're going to what? Sell it effectively in the marketplace. And they're going to pay you top dollar for the information and the knowledge you have, like a doctor. Now, let me give you another thing right here. If you just spend 2 hours at your craft every day, from 10 to 12 online, looking at the videos, and you start practicing, drill for skill, you'll become a pro at your craft. Because most people in our United States don't spend two hours a year on their craft. Because it doesn't take much what? Thank you, State. It doesn't take much effort. You can just stay the way you are. Think about it. I told my nephew, you can be a dad. Anybody can be a dad. Anybody can be a mom. Y'all with me on this?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, no, it's hard. Yeah, I understand it's hard, but you got to what? Be influenceable in the marketplace. What are we doing? Our kids are following who? Us. And what we do. Okay? So, the second type person in Primerica. Now, this is my opinion again. This is just what I see. Okay? The second type of Primerican, I think I wrote it on the sheet for y'all. Didn't I? Yeah, there it is. Okay. They see it. They say it. They sell it even when they don't want to. Even when they're hurting. Even when they're person A right now. They're striving to be person A, meaning 1. Yeah. So now #2 is the visionary. They see things that other people can't see. Other people pick at them and stuff like that and say, and they don't buy in, but they keep on what? Selling it. They get beat up all the time based on their ideas. You're not a builder. They get talked about because you're dealing with more what? Come on, somebody say it in here. People. So when you're dealing with more people, would you agree everybody's going to be uncomfortable? Especially if you're the leader driving them to go do big things. It's amazing. Rick Pitino, his son's following his footsteps, and now he's just got the job. And he's following some big shoes. And Rick Pitino makes $5 million a year. $5 million a year. And you say, golly, to coach college basketball? And everybody in Louisville, and they got a market share like it's so small, it's ridiculous compared to the Michigans and stuff like that. And they pay him $5 million a year. Now here's the thing I'm trying to share with y'all: $5 million a year, and the fans were all complaining because he was hard on his players. He was hard on his players, but they hired him to do what? Get results. And they say, we think you're too hard on your players. Some of them were getting concussions, some of them were doing this. And he kept them together. He kept them together. He said, look, don't listen to all that stuff. Get out of the media. This is one team, one what? Dream. Don't listen to naysayers. Our plan's going to work. They hired me to do this. And now they're going to the national championship. He's going to be the first coach ever won, and he's got a shot to win two national championships with two different what? Colleges. Okay? But at the same time, his horse, right, won his race, and they're going to the Kentucky Derby. And see, here's the thing I'm trying to share with you. He's become a multi-millionaire, but he's also doing multiple what? Things. And when the media asks, he says, that's the horse business. That isn't what I love. That's just something extra. Don't talk to me about the horse, but talk to the financial guys on that. Talk to the horses. You know what I mean? I'm glad for that. But this is what I do. Yeah, I bought a horse. Right. So why am I bringing this up? Because would you agree? He had bags under his eyes. He's focused. He's getting beat up. Y'all can turn that air conditioner off, that one over there, if you don't mind, Chris. All right, just for a second. All right. So think about having a life of Pat Riley. Think about having a life of Rick Pitino, the one I just talked about. They do more and have more. But you got to grow to be able to what? Go through all those things. What are you doing on a personal basis to get better personally? What are you doing to self-improve? What are you reading? What are you listening to? I mean, if you look on my desk in my car now, I've got the CDs on the different things, and ones I'm going to share with you is The Mindset by Brett Burks, Overcoming Objections by Carlos Gonzalez, Getting Commitments by Shane Rudman, right? Getting Commitments by Hector Lamarck, Overcoming Objections, Hector Lamarck, Setting Appointments by Bill Whittle, right? And Kelly Case. Those are the ones that I got. The 3 things that Bill Whittle's talking about, right? How about the seven things by Hector Lamarck?
You said something about the visionary. You're talking about Rick Pitino. You have on the paper here that they created an environment. I seen last night that the women's Louisville team won the national championship too.
Yep.
So, I had to think that had something to do with that. They created that winning environment in that community, and people want to be a part of it, even the women. So now they're going. They beat the hell out of Notre Dame last night. So,
yep.
And that's what the leader does.
Well, and you think about it, that town is somewhat like Primerica. That town has nothing else. It's kind of like Houma. Has nothing else. So Primerica is the hot thing. It can become that environment that they haven't ever been around. I think New Orleans is kind of like that.
Right.
We can do the same thing here. Now, there's a lot of things we got to battle with, Mardi Gras and stuff like that, but we can make that fun inside of our base shop.
What we talked about earlier about Bill saying everybody buying everything from us and stuff. That reminded me of that picture you used to have. That you used to put on the screen, pull up the McDonald's,
Yep.
kind of have some fries, kind of have some life insurance.
Can I get a mortgage with that?
Yeah, so we really did
Refund.
think that could be a reality. Even back then when you were talking about it.
No doubt. Remember that, guys?
Yeah.
Think about that. And I was selling that when everybody thought I was queer,
Yeah.
crazy, okay? All right? So that can be happening too, okay? But because when you're a leader, guess what? People talk about y'all.
Right.
Y'all think it's funny. I'm being real. Some of y'all think that, okay? Because if your players aren't thinking that way, guess what? You ain't coaching. Telling you right now, guys, man, I can tell you the best coaches, guess what? I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying, right? Because they drive you to do better. Okay? So now watch, guys. You need to write this down. Environment is everything. Environment is everything. It starts with what? Just smiling. It starts with, I don't care how bad your day is or how bad it was yesterday or last month. Nobody else cares, and guess what? They're glad it's you and not them.
Right.
Let me help you out. Okay? And matter of fact, look, everybody goes through stuff.
That's right.
Right or wrong?
Right.
Just thank God that we're alive.
Yes.
Okay? So watch here. Large numbers. We got to play large numbers. This is the second type of leader in this company. They're environment driven. Environment driven. Environment driven. That takes people. You cannot have an environment with 1 or 2 people.
Right.
The environment starts at 25. The environment starts at 50. The environment gets better at 100. Okay, because that means you have 3 or 4 leaders with 25. Now they're starting to take on the what? Persona, because they're now getting what in the show.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? When you're at 25, you're the only one that feels it. Come on, guys. I'm trying to help some of y'all. Okay? So, large numbers. You want to have a lot doing a little and a few doing a lot. Think about what I'm saying. A lot doing a little and a few doing a lot. That's part of it. See, I think some of us have the thinking that you have a lot and ain't doing enough. No, you still have a little because you hadn't done a lot long enough. Does this make some sense? Some of us get to where we're kind of getting a lot going, but you still don't have the what? The back end where it needs to be yet. That way it doesn't go over the top. Does that make sense? You have to raise the foundation. Okay, it is. It's what it is. Now watch here. I want you to write this one down. Big Bay Shop promotes what? Regional vice presidents.
Yes.
Nothing small promotes regional vice presidents. How many of y'all would agree with me on this? Because anybody can give a promotion, but then where are they? And who do they have on their team?
Hello.
Okay? So watch here. Big Bay Shops, and that person that goes out needs to be a part of that what? Push. Unselfishness, push, and say, you know what? It doesn't matter how long you've been around either. See, a lot of people get caught up in that stuff. Well, I've been around all this time. Guess what? I've been making pushes. Guess what? Get me out. Well, guess what? Go make a push and go out. Because if not, guess what? All the ones that are brand new, they're going to see what you do. They're going to be, because you know you do it. They're going to be like, oh, they went out like that. They went out like that. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and what? Worse. Somewhere along the line, somebody's got to step up and say, we're going to create the momentum. The momentum. I'm going to be the momentum in this office. Okay? So write this one down. It's a big one. Art Williams said, go get 7 to 10 key leaders. 7 to 10 key leaders. We got to hit some AC. Do it where the back right there doesn't blow on the ladies, or they can sit somewhere else. All right. So 7 to 10 key. I'm not being rude. I'm just because I'm talking and I see it. Okay. I know how hard that one comes out right there. All right. 7 to 10 key leaders. Okay. You got to duplicate yourself. 7 to 10 key leaders. So think about what I'm saying. Person 2, person 1. Both of them are what we need. Right. And by the way, you go through person 1 to get to person 2. You become a good person 1. That's why you can duplicate yourself. Come on, help me out. Does this make sense? Or you better have other people that are like 1 that you can bring with you that what? Shows people what it takes to win. Because with the vision, you better have a bunch of 1s. Or you'll never hit the vision. With the number 1s, you better have a number 2.
Yeah.
Come on, help me out. Right. See, because that's another contradictory thing. Because people think that number 1, they're better than number 2. No, number 2 and number 1 go together.
Right.
Come on, help me out. You show me any number 2 in this company that got a bunch of number 1s. Tell me if this is genius right here. I'm telling you, this is that good. All right. Now watch. When you're number 2, the 1s come.
Yes.
The 1s come. Yeah. And you get free financially. Okay? And some of those 1s will be number 2. They'll make that extra step. They'll get better at their skills personally. They'll start seeing it. They're like, wait, hold on a second. And even like Chris Royce, this is my person, and you know where he came from. He was always on the side, always watching. You know, sometimes he would get recognized. But here's the thing, he stayed at it. He stayed at it. And I've always said this to my number 1s. I said, look, if you can just don't get caught up with not being a builder, because there's a period of time when you're number 1, you start getting mad that you're never going to build anything. It's like, is it ever going to work for me? I don't ever just want to be in sales. Because you're always like a bad guy in sales in Prime America. It's always looked down on. How many of y'all getting any of this?
Yes.
That's wrong. Totally wrong. Because a builder never thinks that way. Mm-hmm. The builder's like, you just keep going. Guess what? Somebody's going to want that $10,000 check you just made.
Yep.
And guess what? That's what Chris did. He was able to stay strong long enough, right? And next thing, everybody wanted to be like him. And now he's got 7 to 10 key guys in his office that are doing what he's doing, and he's making $700,000 a year. Anybody want some of that?
Yeah.
So there's all different kinds of ways to build Primerica. I love it. So, how many of y'all like that part right there, okay? I love it. All right, now, one of the things I talked about to the team last night, and I know I was sharing with Kirby, and I text Shay and Brian, and we're talking about the law of momentum, okay? I think all we got to do is run the company play. How many of y'all would agree with me on this? Let me explain what I mean. How many of y'all know if you do 1 recruit this month and 1 sale this month and you register for the convention, you get 25,000 points towards Hawaii? Now, let's talk about this. How many of y'all would agree all expenses paid vacation in Hawaii is going to be a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many of y'all have ever been there? Was it fun? Company trip, right?
Yes.
Was it fun?
Yes, indeed.
How much do they need to get it? Now watch what I'm doing here. I'm selling it. How good of a feeling is going to be when you have people on your team. I want 5 in my base shop because that means you get to take a guest, a spouse, or whatever person that is. Okay? As long as it got 2 legs and you know what I'm saying, right? Maybe you don't even have that, right? Just something, okay? So here's my point. I want 5 winners in my base shop, so I've got to start what? Come on, help me out. Seeing it, saying it, selling it all the time because I know they're still stuck in their what? Old ways of thinking.
Yes.
They may think, golly, I just got to pay my bills, Troy. You guys can go to Hawaii against the best in the company. It's not that hard.
It isn't.
1 by 1, register for the convention in the month of April. It's $75 still for April.
Yeah.
And they give you 25,000 points towards Hawaii. What if I told you less than 500 people are going to do that in our whole company? Maybe 1,000.
What if they already registered?
Yeah, they already registered and just do you one-on-one.
Yeah.
As long as you're registered.
As long as you're registered. Now think about what I'm saying. That's an instant get ahead of everybody.
Right.
So don't think, oh, there's 100,000 licensed representatives, everybody's doing it. Would you agree there's people in everybody else's offices that are number ones and not even number ones?
Right.
They're just sputtering. That's a big deal. So my focus in my base shop is to get 20 people to do one-on-one this month.
Yeah.
20 people to do one-on-one this month and register. Because I know now I've got 20 people coming to Atlanta versus wondering who's coming.
Right.
At the end, let's just get a car full. How many y'all getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, we got to plan this thing. We got to set it up, partners. Partners, we need your help with that, right, agents? Come on, help me out. Because that's where y'all come in. It's like, okay, just clean this up. I'm going to talk big, but guess what? I need somebody to come. Look, I told D'Artagnan, don't go see the pastor today. He's got to go see the pastor. I need him. There's certain things, because I know something would shut down today and don't work, and guess what? I got to go back there and do it. Okay? So watch here. It says here, 1-in-1, register for Hawaii. I want 5 people in Hawaii. That means we'll have 10 people there, Jen. 10 people. 10 eyes and ears that are looking at this and never seen this thing before. Come on, help me out. Can you imagine Terrence there? Can you imagine Pam and Dejan?
Yes.
Can you imagine Iona? And look, can you imagine D'Artagnan? What? I knew what he was like coming on my trip. Imagine him going on his own trip.
Yeah.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Imagine my nephew winning that thing and Blaine and Tammy getting to go out and they've been working like nonstop from Hurricane Katrina, hadn't had a break, beat up, overweight. Y'all get what I'm saying? Feeling bad about themselves. How about having a 5 or 6 day trip to Hawaii, all expenses paid? You think you can start getting refreshed?
Yeah.
Come on. How many of y'all going to start talking like this, leaders, to your team, putting their names in there, Jazzy, right? So watch, we got to get you to beat Ashley and Mike. Where are they today? Whoop, whoop. They're working. Okay, they're working. Okay, all right. So I want to what? I want. Would you agree that? Look, it drove what? Now his hair is standing up. But we can't forget there was a head-to-head yesterday about that. I don't forget things.
Yeah.
Right? And I even said it yesterday. It's going to come down to those coaches, not them. It's going to the coaches. It's Brian against Shade, really.
That's going to be easy.
That's easy.
All right. So as we talk about
Split everything with them if I have to.
right there, Kirby. That's momentum. That's momentum. To have Jared win Hawaii and his wife go to Hawaii, that's momentum, and they can do it.
Yep.
You got to make them do it.
Right.
We got to be the lead jets that make them see that they can do it. Right or wrong?
Right.
Don't all people want you to do everything for them?
Yeah.
So quit talking to me about I got to do everything. Yes, you do. For a long period of time until they what? Do it for themselves.
Exactly.
Come on, listen. Yes, you do. We even have to do it for the RVPs until they can do it for themselves.
Wow.
So listen, guys, you got to hear this stuff, okay? Bill made a phone call and it was only like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. How many of y'all were on that call? Okay? How many of y'all were on the call? That's a shame. Only 3 people could. That's my fault. Because the call with the RMs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So there's like 3 in this whole room on that call. That's a problem. That's a problem, because guess what? Everybody else is going to be on that call, and they're going to kick our fannies. Y'all understand that? So watch. You need to get your people. That's why I'm sending stuff on GroupMe and trying to get what momentum going, and some of y'all still are just battling it. You're not sending me your goals. It's like, it's amazing, but it's my fault. Because guess what? I got to go what? Get you involved in my upline. Bottom line. Bottom line. Y'all understand?
Yeah.
So watch. And I'm trying. So look, here we go. So now he had a call and he asked, who on here that is aspiring to be regional vice president would love to go to retreats with me? It was his first ever RM call. And I know all of y'all got it because it went out to every RVP. Okay?
I thought it was just for regionals.
Man, are you kidding me? There was 300 plus people on the call. You think all of them were regionals? Come on. No.
Yeah.
People that are smart got everybody they could on the call that were committed to winning.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, get your head out of your anatomy. Make it where Bill's got to say they ain't regionals. Y'all understand? I thought you want your team to win. Wouldn't you want them to have every what? Edge they can?
Yes.
Man, I had people, and I was calling every, matter of fact, I made it look like it was all RMs. I've sent a group message to my RMs, and I text everybody else and gave them the number 2. Screw it. The RMs ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Would you agree? Some of the young guys are going to go kick their butts. Come on, listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some of y'all trying to build up your RMs, and they ain't doing nothing. You're going to commit suicide. Find people that want to go win. Your youngest people you need to have on that call. My opinion. That's just my opinion. And make Bill say, hey, look, they don't qualify for this. I'd rather that than not. How about y'all?
Right.
Okay? So watch. Here's what I'm saying. Build to RVP. Just write that down. I think I got it for you. Build to RVP. Y'all need to make the list, and I did it. I took the time to do this myself, right? Okay, so Kirby, you can start it off, and I want you to put the name, their phone number, their email, and their solution number right here, and I'm going to send this to Bill this morning. People from the Rhino Nation, Bill list to RVP, Rhino Nation. How many of y'all think that'd be pretty cool?
Yeah.
Right? And I'd rather him say, look, they ain't RVPs. I even put the code numbers and everything. Now, I'm not talking about people that didn't commit. You need to have a one-on-one meeting and say, look, how many of y'all want to really commit to this?
Let's see what we think.
Yeah, and the ones that want to commit to this. So when you put the name down, make sure that they're going to commit to what? A schedule, because he's going to send them out stuff, I'm sure, little game plans, 90-day planners, everything else. He wants to have 100 RVPs promoted in 2014. So imagine 100 RVPs. Our goal is what? 12. We need 12 because we already got one out, right? Actually, 2 out, right? Okay, this year, but so we started with 13. Remember, our goal was 13, so we need 11 more in our hierarchy. So y'all see what I'm saying? So his hierarchy is a lot bigger than ours. Are y'all all here? Is it just me?
Yeah.
Am I too aggressive this morning?
No, it's locker room, baby.
Okay. So watch. One of the things I did, if you notice this, it says here 3 and 1 next. Okay, 3 and 1. Kirby talked to me about momentum. I think this is momentum. This is my thing on momentum. Okay. Just work with me here. This is my base. This is what I'm doing this month. Because when I started realizing, Shade, we're not doing enough contests. We're not doing. Matter of fact, we're not doing any. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? So the smaller you are, you kind of get away from that stuff, right? But watch this. 3 and 1, fast start. The fast start school's coming, Brian, right or wrong. So wouldn't it be pretty cool? Our goal is to have at least 10 people do 3 and 1 this month.
Right.
Now how cool is that?
Talk about 10 things last night.
You're right on the same page. You had a phone team last night. I was so happy. I was like, yes! Somebody just called to play to have a partner meeting. Somebody just called to play to have what? A phone team. I said, he's on it. You're doing the right things. This is it. Isn't it funny? And you probably had 3 people show.
Yeah, probably was 4 or 5.
About 4 of us, right? But how many of y'all agree there's more than most people this weekend?
Yeah.
That's how it starts, B. Stay on it. Stay on it, right? So watch, guys. 3 and 1, fast start. The fast start's coming. Kirby, wouldn't it be pretty neat to see 10 people in your hierarchy? Because it's getting to be a hierarchy now, right? 10 people in your hierarchy, y'all 3 plus 7, that gets the 3 and 1 across that stage. But I added to it. Watch here. I just added to it because guess what? I kind of enjoy hanging with my guys and my ladies. I don't like going home. You know, I love spending time with my family, right? But I like spending time with my what? Business leaders. Come on, does this make any sense?
Right.
I want to have fun. Fun. That's fun. It was fun eating at the egg roll house and Janice sitting there talking about I brought strawberries.
Yeah.
Everybody ate my strawberries. And then she said she brought, what did she bring? Oh, she brought some biscuits the week before.
Biscuits, yeah.
And she goes, is anybody going to catch on? It's amazing, Troy. You got RVPs that don't do that. I said, just keep bringing it. What, strawberries? Just keep bringing it. And I said, Janice, you've just become nominated to be the person that brings snacks and food to the office. And I want you to find 3 or 4 other people that's going to buy in with you, because there's going to be a day that you can walk away because now you've delegated it to other people. I said, what you got is a what? A problem here, because you see that because you came from that. And you weren't that person before. So now you're doing it because you saw other people do it. So what do you think's happening? You said you want to come into a base shop to build a base shop. This is building a base shop. So I say, quit getting mad. They're not going to do it.
Right.
But guess what? When you do it, guess what? There's a reason why you're doing it, because now you're one of the leaders now. Come on, is everybody getting this?
Yeah.
I think what's happened is there's 2 things going on. The past is good, but then we think that everybody should do it. We think they already should know this stuff. No, we got to redo it again. We all got to do what we did back then to have a big base.
Yes.
Hopefully this is making some sense. And it can't be put on one person. It's too daggum hard.
Right.
Bill is a magician, and he still can't do it. He's got every piece together in Baton Rouge. That's why he never leaves Baton Rouge. He's a smart man. Think about what I'm saying. If he left, it'd be too hard to rebuild all that. The Dick Hicks, the Mike Keys, the Donnas. Right or wrong?
Right.
And all the other supporting cast in that office. He knows what his strengths are. See, if we're going into battle, we better know what other people's strengths are, and guess what? We know what their weaknesses are, so we can beat them.
Right.
Help me out. Anybody want to beat some people?
Yeah.
Anybody want to compete?
Yeah.
How many of y'all want to take over the state before somebody else does it?
Yeah. 3 states.
So now anybody does 3 in one of my base shop, it might be 3 people, but I'm selling 10. Right? I'm selling 10. Rhino Base Shop. The Rhino Base Shop. We're going to go hang out. We're going to go eat. I don't care where it is. We're going to go to the boathouse. I can see Randy and his girlfriend coming on a boat in a boat at the boathouse, and Jennifer on there with us. And we got my dog. My dog loves getting on it. The one that's fluffy. He looks like a bear. Right? Nicholas. His name's Nicholas. He sits at the front of the boat. Am I right, Jim? He's got his own life jacket. And see, I see that. I see the different couples coming on. I know Shade's having his potluck. It's going to be a Hawaiian theme. Is that right? The 20th, he's having a Hawaiian theme at his place, because his place is like Hawaii anyway. It's got palm trees. It's kind of, they're going to set the whole thing up. Why? Because he's going to build those relationships with his new squad. Man, I don't care. I don't care. I'm running a play.
That's right.
I got to build new leaders. I got to find people that want to win. Man, I was so scared to call my coach. This is me. I was so scared to call him, and guess what? I threw it out there. I said, you getting your butt to class. He didn't come on Saturday. I texted him. I said, man, you coming to class, huh? You need to come one day and you can make up the other day. He goes, what time, Troy? And I didn't even come. I did it on purpose. He came. He actually came. A coach at Tulane University. He came. And he's somebody. He's got credibility. He's excited. Right? And now Tammy got in this life, and now she's teaching next. Y'all see where the parts are coming together?
Right.
And guess what? It wasn't all me. I just got him here. Not did all the things I needed to do, you see what I'm saying? But now he's starting to see it. Now he's going all the way to Houma. In your class, you can have a coach at Tulane University, head coach at St. Aug. Come on, guys.
Wow.
I mean, he's got credibility. He's going to be in your office. See how we got to build up people?
And
Get my point?
Tammy's doing an excellent job. I mean, everybody goes through that class.
I mean, I don't know if y'all, I love Primerica. I love everybody else in Primerica. But when I see somebody else pass, I'm like, yuck!
Yes.
And when I see her get excited about it, I'm like, okay, Tammy, you told him, yes, that's great. But it's not our guys! Anybody think like me?
Right.
If that doesn't get you going and you're just happy for everybody, So watch here, guys. I'm doing something else. And RVPs, come to me and I'll talk to you about it, okay? I really will. And you don't have to do this, but I promise you it's cost effective. So trust me. Ready for this?
Yeah.
We're giving out the first Rhino, well, it's not the first, but it's the first one right now. Men's dive. It's like one of those big bulky watches.
Oh.
Pad to the bone. Remember that? That nice one, right? Dude, I'm talking about nice. This thing's rolled. This thing's like, I'm telling you. So watch this. Check it out. We're giving away the Top Man Award in our base. The top man. They've got to do 4x5, Ruben. So you've done it. They got to do 4x5, Kirby. You've done it. Jordan, you got to do 4x5. You've done it. That's what all the RVPs do. So watch. I'm setting the standard. The watch. Man. It ain't about the watch. It's about them what? Winning.
Right.
But they're going to be sporting this watch, I promise you. And then Cynthia and Catherine. It's so funny watching Pam and Dejan and Cynthia and Catherine. They're so much alike. It's like ridiculous. The two sisters. So now I got to have a lady award. So I got women's watch. The women's watch is nice. It's like white. And it's got like, it's just nice.
I want the men. I want the
Oh,
men.
women might want the men. That's right.
The women want the men.
All right. Now, so y'all get what I'm saying? All right, so watch. 4x5. 4x5. So now, here's what I told them last night. If you do 4x5 and somebody else does 4x50, 100, you lost.
Yeah.
But you still what?
One.
So here's what we're doing. The lady who does that, the top lady in our office, this month, in the month of April, gets the watch. The man who does 4x5 in the top one, okay, so it can't just be two, it can be two, it's the top one. And by the way, I laughed last night on my call and said, hey, guess what, if you do it, I might get you one too. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what, we're winning. It gets fun, you want to invest in winners. You want to invest in winners.
Right.
But you, as a leader, have got to see it, say it, and sell it all the time and be the winner yourself. And don't let the losers get to your head. Gary Cox is a weird duck, but he has a book that Don't Let Others Rinse Face in Your Head. He's so right. He's so right. He's so right. Be you. Be the gift that God gave you. Man, a lot of y'all wouldn't be in this room if I wouldn't have been myself. Because I promise you, there's a lot of people who said, man, this guy's crazy. So watch, here's what we're doing. We're doing a golf shirt, the Rhino golf shirt. I'm going to go get them made, design, and finally do it where it's nice. And it's a different Rhino shirt. It's not like the team Rhino shirt. It's going to be a different shirt. Okay? The golf shirt. Then here's the thing, Kirby. I was looking at this shade, and I was saying, okay, Brian, and Jennifer knows what I'm talking about here, because I think even when we went to Dallas, we're doing some of the same mistakes here, because we're expecting people to do big things based on how we were 8 years ago. Rick Pitino said it best. He said, I've been coaching all these years. It was, what a great interview. He goes, but I've never loved the team more than this team. Every team, look, I get chills. Every team is a different what? Team. The great thing about Primerica and the bad thing about Primerica, we got what? The team stays with us usually forever. That's a bad thing sometimes because what? You expect them to keep growing. See, but a coach, guess what? JT Curtis has a new team every what? Every year. So they leave and you got to what? Re-coach another team. So you got to stay engaged. Where in Primerica, we get in a lazy mode. Because you think your guys should just keep doing it. And you can override the rest of your life. Because you do have 7. Really? 7 to 10 what? Key people. Okay, so watch here, guys. It's been so long since we've had an RM, believe it or not, do 10 and 10.
Wow.
So I was saying on the call last night, because all of them on the call saw it. They saw RMs doing 30 and 30, and I mean, you know what I'm saying? We don't have an RVP doing 30 and 30. So think about what I'm saying. 10 and 10 is a big deal. Can we just get somebody, I started naming out names, Norvell, Paul. I just went through all kinds of RMs. Steve Dufresne, one that's been saying he's going to do it. Lamont Dempsey, right? Momo was on the call last night. D'Artagnan, Randy Ziegler. I went through all kinds of RMs. Terrence, Carlos. We had like 12 on the call, right? RMs, Cynthia and Catherine. I'm like, tell me I'm crazy. Just tell me I'm crazy. Can I just get 5 RMs to do 10 and 10? Matter of fact, not 5, just 3. And I went through all the successes they've had. Randy Ziegler made over $50,000 a year. D'Artagnan's had his own office. I went through all the different successes. I said, Paul Scarlett's wearing the green jacket. He's been on every company vacation. He got 100 direct recruits. Norvell was on stage, MVP. Right? Can I just find 3 that does what? 10 and 10? So here's what I did. I said, anybody that does 10 and 10, gets the rhino jacket, but they also get to watch if they didn't personally do it. They get to watch too. And we start what? Start getting identity. Right or wrong?
Right.
So you win, and then you get momentum. You start winning. You start getting successes. You start getting those threads. All right. We start bringing this back. We start bringing this back. It's got stuff all over, right?
Yeah.
The 4x5 club. Remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4x5 club. We had this all up in the office, and it just sat there. And guess what? All the names went there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I did that. All the names went there. Okay. Then we had the building through attendance. The building through attendance. Everybody was fighting to get to 25 so their name could go on there. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then we shrunk it down to 10 because we knew that once people had 10, that was a good thing. So we said, okay, you get 10 into the meetings, guess what? You're going to get momentum. Then we said, if you get 25 to meetings, man, you're not going to do an RVP. Then we said, if you get what? 50 to meet, you're definitely an RVP because guess what? There's somebody on your team that's got 25 and they're going to be the replacement.
Right.
How many of y'all remember any of this? It made so much daggum sense. That's why we did it. And that's how we won. That's how we built momentum. Now you see Bubba Alexander doing it. All these guys are doing this stuff. It don't have to be our stuff. They're just doing what works. I don't need to claim it. This is what works. It works. Okay? There's a multi-level company called It Works. And that don't work. So, something's got to move you. Something's got to say, you know what, I want to go win. So this morning, I wanted to bring out some of the RVPs and get a shot. Does everybody have that?
Yes.
Okay. How'd y'all like that? That was pretty good?
Yeah.
I mean, I want momentum going.
Yes.
Okay. So I asked the RVPs to come up and speak, and I think I'm going to bring up Shade right now because here's why. You got to write this down, okay? Without goals, there's no discipline.
That's right.
So that's why you see the big board back there. Y'all see the big board back there? Y'all came in and you had to write your goals down. Take a picture of that. Right? When you have goals, it drives discipline. Discipline comes from desire. Desire drives goals. Goals drive what? Discipline. Discipline brings success. Bill always told me, he says, Troy, don't worry about what people think. You don't have the 90-day plan and all that stuff because your numbers reflect your goals. Your goals drive discipline. You're so disciplined. I've never seen anybody disciplined like you. That's what he always tell me. Because my goals were always more than anything. I'll be able to do all kinds of stuff more than most people could do in a week. I would do in a day, and nobody could ever see what it was because I didn't have it written down. Now, that's not true because I always had it on my little sheets. My little sheets, and I still do this today. So the structure side of me doesn't like the 90-day plan.
Yeah.
Because I don't have structure like that. I'm not designed like that. I was always the type person at the end of the week I'd see Jennifer writing it every day. I was like, shit, she's writing it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, literally, that's what I would do. I was like, this is disgusting. But I'm doing it. You see what I'm saying? I was like, just, how many of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And then I'd go sneak in, I'd just start writing it like a whole week. Then it was like I was punished. You know what I'm saying? I was like doing my punish work. Right, yeah, it took me an hour and a half. I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I was like, this is torture, right? So I'm just trying to relate to some of y'all and let you know you gotta have something though. You gotta have something. Something's gotta mean more than being where you're at. Okay? And with that, I wanted to bring up Shade because this is it's an accountability. It's some sheets he did this Saturday, and I asked him to spend some time on this morning, and I've run copies again for those that don't have it. All right, but come on up, Shade, if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Give it up for Shade. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, my podium. My security blanket.
All right. Don't break it. All right, guys. First off, if you were here this weekend, I know Troy got to go over the fun part of this, which is one of the things that attracted. Now, keep in mind, what I'm going to go with you isn't going to attract anybody to the business. Okay, so you need to be doing what Troy just did to make sure you're attracting people to the business. But at the same time, it is a business, right?
Yes.
And if you're not running it like a business, if you're not going out there focused on the different things that are going to move your business, you're never going to realize whether your business is growing or not. You're going to have to make sure you're focused on the things you want to have grow, and those are based on your goals. So this all starts off like Troy just said. What are your goals? Make sure you have clearly defined goals for the month, for the year, for the quarter that you're pursuing. I want to make sure y'all understand that I am not an S. It's the last thing in my star. I'm not an S. I'm not good at any of this stuff, but I also recognize that my business was like, basically I was walking around with a bucket full of water with holes in it, and it was bleeding out. My business was, I was losing appointments, I was losing money, I was losing recruits. How many of you guys recruit people and you just don't know where the hell they ended up going? Right? Yeah, it's like, so what's up with, well, I know Troy knows this for sure. Troy running a team in different cities and different things. It's all of a sudden you think, you hear about one guy and then you never hear about him again, and you kind of forget you even have people on your team, you know? So we had to come up with ways to track our business and run it. This business blueprint, we used to, and this is a weekly thing that we used to do with our team, and it's every week it tells you exactly what to do to hit your goals. So if you don't have goals, this isn't going to be very useful for you, okay? If you're just kind of randomly doing your business, this isn't going to help you very much. But if you want to accomplish a specific thing in a certain amount of time, what we did, I gave these out to all of our key leaders. We met with about 10 to 15 of them every Friday, and we went over this with them. And they would be able to tell, we'd be able to see exactly where they are. Viola says she wants to be a 4x5 person. We talked about this on Saturday. How many people want to do 4x5? Let's be real though. This is day 8 of the month. You should be on 1x1250 right now. You follow me? Yeah. So, and I'm not trying to be, I want you to take this the right way. But if you didn't do that work the first week, you think you're going to double and triple your work effort on the second and third week. No. I'm not saying you're not gonna, but you better do it quick, because every week you delay, it becomes further and further. So what do most people do? Most people renegotiate their goals, but they don't tell themselves they did. Does that make sense? They think they're going to triple and quadruple their work ethic efforts but really what they're doing is you ever seen someone the last day, there's 2 days left, we're going to still finish with 4x5. I mean, I appreciate your optimism here, boss. But let's just be real. So what you're telling me in 2 days, you're going to do what you didn't do in 28. Yeah, I'll go ahead and write that one down. 0x0. Right. It's not a matter of believing or not believing. It's a matter of operating a business or running Fantasyland. Right? So what this does, sorry, early I'm more sarcastic in the morning, so just recognize me, you have to speak in the morning. Good. First off, what are my goals? I don't have time to go over how this math works on here, but let's just put it this way. Tammy did it, and it's right. Okay? Tammy did it, and it's right.
Let's do this real quick, Shane. We did a good job with this. We did a good job with this on Saturday. Good job, D'Artagnan. Right? And he emailed this to me, so I immediately emailed it to D'Artagnan last night. Okay? And I appreciate that. Okay? Because we can't hide information. We got to share it with each other so we can grow. Because I know now I can disperse this to my team members and start learning it, because it's a great system. So what does this mean, Shane? What's this stuff mean?
Let me go over this, because I had no idea that was behind me.
It's okay.
All right. What are my goals? So based on this is keep in mind, it's a weekly accountability session here, okay? And this is for you now. Now, if you just use it by yourself, what you do, Omega does this at the end of the week. He gives it to Brian. Brian can look at this and say, okay, my boy's on it, or it's like, right? So what's your goal this month, personal recruits?
Personal, five.
How many are you on right now for the month? Two. So
you kind of make believe, fill it in mentally right here.
That's right. You need how many more? 3. So if you want to do this based on, now my team has always been, we've always based our business on interviews.
This is good.
I look at Op Night as what I do with my interviews after I interview them. That's how you do whatever you want, bring it. But this is what this is based on, okay? So if you, now Omega, you're pretty good, right? Interview-wise, you're good. You got there, you have a high ratio. What I'm going to tell you to do, if you're going to run a business, assume you have the exact ratio as everybody else, so that you don't underwork yourself to get the same result. Does that make sense? If you think you're just like everybody else as far as that goes, you can be as confident as you want, but don't shortcut the work effort to make sure you put the numbers in. Work the numbers in. If you want to go out there and get 3 more recruits, times 6, whatever, for the number of interviews you have to have set, then multiply times 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. So if you set 18 interviews, you're going to be okay. Now, if you're in a cold market like I've always been, you need to make sure you have enough prospects to get those interviews. So you take the number of interviews you need, multiply it by 2. That's how many prospects you need this week to accomplish this month to accomplish your goal. You get, so 18 times 2 is 36, right? So if you get 36 prospects, you will hit your prospecting goal. If you do it in a cold market, you do it in a warm market, congratulations, it'll be better.
So if it's in a warm market, it'd be through your recruits.
Yeah, warm market. Now look,
their names.
That's right. And I don't want to take notes, because I'd rather overwork you and get better results than underwork you and have you miss your goals. Right. So that's how these different areas work for all the different things like that, okay? And they're basically the same system. We just figured it out based on 8531 system and the 50% recruit to code, the interview to code. We based it on our numbers essentially, but our numbers are not going to be that much different from yours, right? So that's what that is. How do I accomplish these goals? Give up. Now, if you didn't have goals, where the hell is it going? Get back there. Eye wall.
I will.
If you didn't have team,
Hey, I'm trying to help you out, man.
it's a little sensitive wall. If you, okay, they get bigger. If you didn't have team goals, how would you write anything up here? So now let me help you out. We talked about with recruiting, anyone in here could have a goal of 10 recruits per month, at least on your team. Any one of you guys could have that. I don't think there should be anything not that way. It doesn't matter if you're part-time full, because if you go out there and recruit 3 or 4, you should be able to get 10, or else what are you doing with those people? Does that make sense? 10 is a logical recruiting number if you're going out there doing 3 or 4 recruits. Ruben, how often does that happen with you guys? 3 or 4 recruits, 10, right? But that's going to happen if that's what you focus on, okay? Now, premium's a little bit different, guys. Premium is very easily dictated by the number of licenses you have on your team. If Kirby is his only licensed agent, and Kirby's personal goal is 5,000 in premium, his team goal has to be 5,000 in premium, unless he has 3 or 4 people in licensing class taking the test. Does that make sense? I don't have time to go over those numbers. I mean, you don't want me to do that, huh? You do want me to do that? Okay. If you want, guys, it's such a predictable business. When I have 16 people write their name on business, I run a $30,000 base every time without. It's never missed. If 16, it doesn't matter if people do 1 sale. It doesn't matter if people do 20 sales. If 16 people put their name on business, I run a $30,000 base. When I left, I recognized that I lost a lot of codes. I went from 69 codes to 47 codes. A third of your codes will write business every month, right? A third of your codes.
Our team had 11 people write business. We did 20,000.
That's going to happen almost every time, right? I mean, and some businesses are a little different, but don't assume yours is. If your business is better than that, congratulations, you'll do more. Why shortchange it? Does that make sense? But you got to focus on getting the prospects, to get the interviews, to get the people in class, to get the codes. Does that make sense? So if Nick wants to go out there, you're newly promoted out. How many licensed agents do you have right now? 2. Okay. Smaller team. Would you agree he could influence that other agent to write more business than you can in a bigger team? So the lower codes, you're going to have a bigger ratio. Okay. Just recognize that, because you have fewer people, therefore you're directly responsible for them. So understand that it's going to be different, but if you keep on working it, it's going to get bigger. So if Nick wants to say, this month, what do you get? What's your goals personally this month?
First one is 8.
8,000? 8 or 8,000, okay. So would you agree that 8,000, I don't know who your licensed agent is, but would you agree that 8,000, probably 7,500 of it needs to come from Nick?
Right.
Unless you have just a stud other guy, I don't know who it is. Right? So good luck with that one. I'm saying the other person. Do they produce on a regular basis? They shouldn't, though, if you think about it.
There you go.
It takes 3 to get 1. So if Kirby wants to increase his code, or excuse me, Nick wants to increase his codes next month, they have licensing class Saturday in Houma. If he's not focused, he has to do everything, totally sell out for, if he wants May to be different from April, he has to totally sell out to get in 3 to 5 people in that class. I don't really care what the hell he does to get them in there. I don't care if they're signed up for the business or not. Get them in class so they can complete the requirement to go out there, and he's going to have a shot in the next 14 days to have another code that can produce for him that his business, because if you want your premium to go up, you have to add a code. You're not going to miraculously do 30,000 in premium next month by yourself. You're going to pretty much do what you do on a monthly basis.
And I know I keep interrupting you, but that's why when he said there's different businesses run differently, but it's also predictable that it's going to come down over time, because if they don't have enough codes, it's going to come down.
Somebody's going to get tired.
Somebody's going to get tired. There you go. Right. It's no different. There's certain people in our business, you can see it, and you can see when they're just personally writing a bunch of business, and you know it's not going to stay that way for a long period of time.
That's what, but you know, at the same time, for momentum though, you can get excited. I'm excited right now because we had 7 people in licensing class in Shreveport, 8 people in licensing class in Shreveport that finished. We had 2 licensed people who finished licensing class here, so that means like 9, 10 people who finished licensing class. I know that I'm going to get a 50% pass ratio because of what Tammy does. I know. So in the next 30 days, I guarantee myself 5 new codes. So what that means is I'll have 2 new people producing on my team next month. I don't care if it's 1 sale or 20 sales, irrelevant. I don't worry about the details on that. I just worry about putting the players on the field.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is a lot to cover that first. I don't know how long you want me to take
Just
up.
notice, we got 5 more minutes, but
Okay,
let's
good.
go.
Okay,
Yeah,
what I'm
get
saying.
enough. Y'all understand what he's saying though, right? I want you to
Well, make it look good.
overview.
Make it look good.
Yeah, like
Do it.
Okay, so I'm going to go through this fast. Who are my recruits this month? Who am I working with this month? And write it down on a weekly basis. This is who I'm working with this month. Because you'll forget people. You can have good people that are slipping through the cracks. Who am I working with from last month? Who's still here? Right? Who do I need to go touch? Maybe, well, I know whoever. Maybe Jared got somebody that he's working with, but you need to be working. Like, where's this guy?
Yeah.
He's a good guy. What the hell happened? Maybe you need to go back and love on him or something like that. Or you could find out, like, dude, where's this guy? I thought he was going to be a stud. Where's he going? What are you dealing with? What new and
There you go.
what new recruits can I say I'm using an appointment with? So switch, go up.
So like, give an example. Just give an example. I've seen Shay do this on dead time. Like, watch, guys. Listen, you guys, pay attention. Okay, that's not what this is. Okay, think about what I'm saying. I've seen him have dead time, and I've seen somebody in there in the back doing their 30-name list. He's breaking it down during their fast start planner on that dead time, and it's with people he's talking about like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Finding ways to get things in the field, go in the field.
This is who can I set appointments with? Those people that you had on that first page. Who's on my team here? Now look, guys. My license, and Kirby's one of my life. He's giving me this. I'm not worried about. I'm not ever going to put Kirby Rhodes right here because he knows what the hell he's doing. Right? I'm just not. I'm going to be dealing with Kirby and how he's dealing with his people, but. I'm not. I don't teach Robbie how to set appointments.
So you're going to be dealing with Robbie. He needs to have the sheet.
I'm going to teach him how to do this.
Right.
But everybody else, and that's one of the things I kind of end with. I'm going to take responsibility for everybody on the team. I got a new thing, and you're going to love it. I don't know, but it's good. So we're going to go up on this because this is kind of obvious. This is just tell. Okay, stop. How many interviews? Look, this is week 1, 2, 3, and 4 because you want to go to the district in 4 weeks. So this week, if Kirby's my new recruit. How many interviews did he set? How many KTs did he set? What were the results on that, right?
Wow.
So
Awesome.
at the end of the week, if I sit down with Kirby and Nick's his new guy, and I say, okay, so Kirby, how many interviews did Nick have this week? Well, he didn't have any. Kirby, how many KTs did Nick have this week? Well, he didn't have any. Okay, that's identifying one of two things. Either Nick's a dud or Kirby ain't running his team. So I'm going to lose this guy, or I need to just maybe I need to work with Kirby on making sure he's running his guy. Right? Guys, they said don't get into management mode, and that's 100% true. Okay? Always be creative. But you do have to manage what you got. I mean, it is a business. You do have to make sure nothing's happening. And that's what's, well, go up. Let's go deep. Okay. Number 5, how is my prospecting? This is done on a weekly basis. Number of prospects, the number of interviews set, the number of interviews done, to IBAs, KT set, done, and sales. What are you doing? You know, at the end of the week, if Nick's doesn't know anybody, or Nick's been in the business for a little bit, and he has 0 prospects for the month, he's probably going to have 0, or for the week, he's probably going to have no interviews, and so forth and so on. Now, let's say Nick comes out there, and then on Friday, I meet with Nick, he has 25 right there, 3, none. Well, I know exactly what I need to work with Nick on. He's obviously talking to people, he's either running them off, or he's not following up with them, one of the two. So I can focus on the challenge to help Nick get better at whatever he is.
So stop right there if you don't mind. And this is what I think me and Shay did well with on Saturday, because 2 different types of personalities. Would y'all agree? And now talking to Kirby, did y'all agree with that? Okay, right. Shay did. That's important. But here's the thing. So now think about what you were talking to me on the phone with, how the skill sets. Now all we got to do is come up with the different skill sets, make sure our people are good at these different skill sets, whether it be prospecting, overcome objection, how to the 3-foot rule. All these different things are indicators based on maybe their skill sets or activities. So you're tracking both things. Y'all got that?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not an S. I hate this stuff, but I love the results it gives me. Like I'm warning you.
We're looking for momentum, guys. That's the topic today.
And have fun, guys. We used to have fun with this, man. We used to make fun of each other. We'd all sit around, and everyone's turning to us like, "Look, this guy sucked." Jonathan, guys, y'all are all better than Jonathan this week. You suck, dude. Seriously. We didn't do it that bad, but we did have fun with it, right? We throw coffee at each other. What does my active district team look like, guys? The point is, Kirby's a regional. He wants to be a vice president. How do you go vice president? 6 active producing districts.
That's great.
Every week we're going to look at what is my license district. I want to keep that. Great, all that other stuff is nice. Where's this at? This is important. Where's this at? Right? So then the next thing down here, because I'll take people, it's funny because when we did this, they always have like the dude I ain't seen in 4 months. And it's fun. Every week I was like, oh, that's awesome. He's not here no more, dude. Give up on that. We'll get another one. Go get another one.
Yeah, so yeah, he's coming.
No, he's not. In fact, I'm going to submit his termination paperwork to the company, okay? He's never coming back. Right? Who else on my team? Because you got to get people focused on the new people, guys. A lot of people, we try to sit down and zombify everybody. And tell them, he's coming back. No, he's not. Love him from afar. Who else on my team can get to district bonus? So who on your team? Who's your candidates? Who's your potential people that are going to probably get their district this month? Who am I working with? If Kirby wants to get to vice president and Nick and Ruben are on his team, but Ruben's on Nick's team, and but he sees him as a potential, Kirby might want to pay the heck attention to some Ruben if that's one of his new potential districts. Because hey, the bigger he builds up Nick, the less of an impact his replacement legs going to have on his current base. So help you guys out. It tracks everything as far as that goes. Who can I get licensed? This is the track your licensing. Who on your team is eligible to get in the licensing class, right? I mean, where are you at? I mean, how many people did you have? What's your goal for people? Like, look, a HOMA licensing class. We have a goal, our HOMA team has a goal of how many people they want in licensing class, and I'm on them about it, right? Where?
So now, think about what he's saying. He had 8 in Shreveport. Think about it, guys. He had 8 in Shreveport licensing class. He'll have how many in Houma?
Houma, we'll have 2 or 3.
2 or 3 in Houma, and he had 2 here. So how many people do you have in licensing class? 12, 14. So here's the point behind that. Some of y'all have 5, and you think you beat everybody's butt. And this was my hardest thing when I was out of the city. We had people in all different kinds of, but you never could create momentum together in one location.
This is hard.
But you actually get bigger if they understand it themselves how to get bigger at that location.
Right. Depends on who you got.
That's right.
Really does. Who can I get licensed? Test schedules, all this other stuff, guys. If you're putting them in anywhere where Tammy's dealing with them, if she call, look, I understand that when she calls her study sessions, it may not be convenient. Send their butt there. Like she's on it, and she will get your people to pass the test. Right. But she's not going to go hunt them down. It takes 2. Okay. So she says, hey, look, we're having like Friday night, we're having a study session at Houma. Wow. Make sure she's going to do it every time she goes to Houma. She has a study session that Friday night. Y'all can do it, I can tell you that. So make sure that y'all have people in there. So hopefully you have people that are going to do that, right? Anyway, she's going to do similar things up here. What clients do I need to follow up with, guys? This is what Kirby's given me as his leader. So I know what his go back is for the week. Does that make sense? I know I'm following up with this client this week, this client this week, this client this week. That way, do you ever just wonder, if you've ever had a team, a big team, you're like, what the hell is going on with all my people? I have no freaking idea. Right. Apparently we went on 47 appointments last week and we didn't close crap. The appointments never happened.
Thank you. The appointments really weren't even there.
I'll show you how to do that in a second. That's good. What pending business needs to be taken care of? Every week you give your new people a pending business hit list. This needs to be taken care of. If the same thing's on more than 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to handle it and you're going to get put on as earned. Well, that's how I did when we had a bigger team. I can't do that. Yeah. But it's not fun. Well, it's a business. It wasn't, you understand, you gotta, it's nothing personal. It is, we can have all the fun, but the business side of this, I'm trying to build business leaders. Who's coming to Op Night on a weekly basis? Kirby's going to tell me everybody on his team that he expects at Op Night this week because he already.
That's big, guys. This is huge.
Guys, and I got out of the habit when I got here, but we literally every night I'd call Robbie, Jonathan, Daniel, Daryl, Chris, all my main people, and it's like, how many people you got coming to Op Night? Every night.
So like, when's the last time I asked you that? When's the last time I asked you that? When's the last time I asked you that? It's been years.
But
think about it.
Never assume your big guys are going to do it without. I mean, I would text message or phone call. You got to touch them on a regular basis because I'm assuming that I got to make sure it happens, right? And this is who is coming to Saturday training to wrap this page up. This is if you want to increase your Saturday training, what you focus on grows. If you're waiting till Friday to find out who's coming to training on Saturday, you're going to have crap. You're not going to have anyone come. You're going to have the people that want to come, but the people that need to come the most are the ones that you have to touch every day. You have to sell it every day. Troy told us to be a promoter. What are you promoting? Like Op Night. If we're not talking today's Monday, Op Night's on Tuesday. But if you haven't been selling Op Night since last Thursday about how big Tuesday Op Night's going to be, it's going to pretty much be the same thing as last week, unless last week was good. You know what I'm saying? You got to build that momentum up there. That's one of the things. We don't like our attendance. So we've been talking to Mike and Ashley and the Mavisas and the thises and the thatses and all the other ones. Like, op nights on Tuesday. What do you got? Op nights on Tuesday. What do you got? We can't have Troy's team doing the whole thing. We got to make sure we're pulling our part, right? We can't have them be responsible for everybody. We need to make sure we're playing too. And making a competition out of it, a friendly competition, not like the hell with Troy's team people. And we love those guys. And they bring so much to it. And we have it competing for spots to speak and all that. Make your planner, guys, if you're going to use one. I don't care if you do or not. You mind if I do this real quick? I did this yesterday. Brian saw me. I took 6 hours putting this together yesterday because I was sick of my business bleeding. And I am not an S. I hate this. I have to put it on my phone to tell me to do it. But I remade everything, my tracking things in there. But weekly report, we were talking about my business was messed up, and I did this in Shreveport. This is when we took it to 40,000 when I started doing this. Everyone, all the leaders call in, and they give me all of their times and dates of their appointments and interviews for the week. So Robbie could say he has 19 appointments. His team has 19 appointments. So at the end of today, I can call Robbie. It's like, dude, how was your 8 o'clock and your 2:30? How was that? And what happened is, about 2 weeks after I started doing this, all of a sudden their appointment count went from 30 appointments a week to what they actually had per week. Because they had to give me dates and times, and they stopped lying. I didn't let them lie to themselves about stuff they were going to set at some point in time. If it's not set, it doesn't go on the planner, and it's not real.
And then would you agree, if they do keep doing that and do keep lying, everybody thinks Primerica doesn't work?
No, they get discouraged.
Right.
You're not helping them out by letting them fluff their numbers. They're gonna say, oh my God, you didn't do anything. This is your proof. And new recruit tracker, where's your new guy? Like Brian Matt, where's he at? He has 1 sale, 2 sales, 1 recruit. He's been here since 3/13 though. I got 7 more days to make sure this gets filled up. Where are you at with your new guy, right? Or where was Ruben at with his new guy? So just find a way, whatever you need to do to track your business.
So how many of y'all would like Shane to have 15 minutes on Monday to go over this, next Monday to go over that?
Yeah, this is a lot more
we have a working binder. And I can remember, Jennifer, when we really had it cranking, I was like, I'm done with this. I even had a binder like this, and I said, okay, it's almost like I had a little a traveling POL. That it's a POL now that kind of keeps all this stuff, but if you don't watch out, there's so many things on POL, you got to have something that works for you.
That's right. And I want to make sure people understand that you don't have to be an S to do this. This is my S. Everything else I don't have to worry about now. I just look at the book and go from there.
So the more we look at this, and I use, you think about Rene Perez. Would you agree? That's kind of like Rene Perez right here. Would you agree? Right? In a positive way, guys. Y'all got to understand what I'm saying. So I'm only as good as the people around me, and vice versa. Okay, y'all got to hear what I'm saying. And I use different leaders, and you got to hear what I'm saying. How many of y'all would agree if you hear too much of that, and that's what Shade's saying? He knows this is mandatory. You got to have this kind of stuff. How many of y'all heard him say that like 3 times? He's not an S, I'm not an S, I'm not an S, but I know I need to do this. So would you agree? What you looking for, your pen?
Is that my pen?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, where the hell am I?
All right, no problem. Okay. But you got to understand, that's a part, as uncomfortable as it is.
It's hard to do.
It's got to be inside of your organization. And if this isn't here, you're just motivating and nobody's doing nothing.
But if you want to lose weight, it's hard to eat right too.
Y'all get what I'm saying? So somebody's got to play that role. You think it's comfortable for me being the motivator all the time?
Hell no.
Are you kidding me? It's very frustrating. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because then you also get called like you're motivating, but ain't nobody doing it. What are you going to teach them? Well, can I get some people to teach? So somebody's still got to motivate. Y'all get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you got to have it all, okay? So hopefully that part helped you guys. And just remember, no matter where you're at in the business, you're going to grow. Okay? Right. You're going to grow. You just get on board here and you start showing up and do it long enough, there's no way possible you'll fail. No way possible. I don't know if you're seeing that right now, but you got to feel that. You got to understand that, okay? The next person I have coming up, another RVP, guys, doing some big things, and I promise you, I really see it. I really see it, especially when Brian puts what Shade just did together. When he really starts working on that part of his business and saying, okay, boom, because Brian brings a flavor. He's totally, I can't even say it enough, but he's always been supportive of me and Jennifer. He's always been supportive of the system, so-called, right, and done everything in the right way. I know these guys have already done it. They've had their own offices as well. And all my guys, okay, all my RVPs. But here's the point. He's going to cover, I asked him to cover some of the momentum things, some of the things that are the non-negotiable things that he's doing right now to create momentum for his Hurricanes, okay? I'm going to bring up Brian Harris. Brian.
Cool. All right. I kind of want to extend or expand on a little bit of what Shane was talking about, because he talked about fixing some of the leaks and stuff like that, and that's some of the things. Mega shaking his head. He said, "But we had like a couple of emergency meetings like 2 months ago, and you do have to start putting that stuff in place, man. You have to look at, because Kirby did a great job with this last week, talking about tracking your business, looking where you are, because you can have a false illusion that you're bigger than you think you are. Right. You know, and then you start looking at the numbers, and the numbers say one thing, and you're thinking something else. Right. So you do have to put that stuff in place, man. And what we started off doing was doing things to getting small to get big, if that makes sense. So I started calling some little small meetings with having lunches with people and small individual things. I was at Jazz and Chris's house one evening, right? We talked about it. I went to their house, had the meetings with them. I've been to their house, right? With Glenn and Patricia, been in their house. So I've been doing small meetings, right? And then Gerard and I have been partnering up doing things, and we put together a little mastermind group with the core team, you know, but talking about where we want to go, what you're talking about, selling the vision. So all those things come into place, man. So we started selling a vision of what we want to look like and how we want to get there. Okay, so like I said, we concentrated on getting small to get big and start putting those pieces together. And just like Shane said, people tell you got all these appointments all over the place and stuff like that. And you look at the production, go, well, there's something's wrong here, right? We got 40 appointments and we're on 500 in premium. Something's not right. So we either got, like you said, you either got to identify either these things aren't happening, or there's some gaps. Now we do understand we got a young team too. So we got a rookie team. So we got to put some things in place there to do some drill for skill stuff. You know, to meet on a smaller basis and say, look, what's going on here? What's happening? But those things I think also create momentum. I brought this up here, quarter, okay? Because I've always heard this, that if you put a quarter on the train track in front of the train and the train hadn't started up anything, what's not going to happen? The train ain't going to roll. The train is not moving, and that seems crazy though. That's like you put a couple of quarters on the track, and that big freight train is not going to move. And that, to me, that's unbelievable. Right. So what we did, one of the things we figured, man, you got to get out your own way. And sometimes you can be in your own way. Sometimes who's the quarter? Sometimes you're the quarter. You know, so I'm calling the small pockets and something, but I also have to evaluate who? Me. Right. Okay, and what's going on with me? What's Brian doing? You know what I'm saying? But Brian's got to have, like you said, I pull out my daily planner. And I start working my daily planner because I started writing my goals every day. You know, you got to get more specific about this stuff. Okay, I know what I want to make $250,000 in income. I want to promote 3 RVPs. I want to be SVP by the end of the year. I mean, I can recite it because I've been writing it practically every day. Now you're right; it's hard to write that crap every day. You know what I'm saying? But I make it a point. It pops up on my phone in the morning. That's the first thing I got to do in the morning, because you can go about your day and forget all this stuff, right? So, in talking about that, so the quarter's on the track. But at some point, you got to get the quarter off the track and maybe become, you know, you might be the quarter. So you got to look at your business and figure out really what's happening here. Okay? But one thing I do know about the train, though, once the quarter comes off the track and the train starts running, okay, now sometimes it takes what? A minute for that sucker to get going, right? I mean, they're putting the coals on. You don't even see all that stuff. Anybody know how the train gets started? What happens? Anybody knows? Because you know they have coals and hot coals in the train, and it builds up heat, the heat that builds up the steam that actually powers the train. So when that's going on, and especially in the old days, I'm using the old days. The new trains are electric. Okay, I'm using the old choo-choo train. Okay, you should see everybody's faces like, the train don't work like that, but that's how an old choo-choo train, right? But the old choo-choo train, man, they used to be there throwing coals in the trains right there, but somebody had to be what? Throwing the coals in the train. Okay, so at some point you got to throw the coals in. So that's what you start throwing the coals in, the steam starts, and the thing starts moving what? A little faster, and it takes a little time to get it. It takes a little time to get it going, right? Now here's the thing, because one thing I know is that we're a microwave society, you know, and we want everything right now. You know, we want it instant. But does it always work that way? No. Does it work that way in primary? No, now, it can happen overnight, but does it happen overnight? No, it doesn't. Everything's microwave.